Alrighty. Welcome back to the Kings of the Queen City podcast. This is going to be episode 3. It's been a couple weeks since we've recorded an episode. Unfortunately, a few of our members have been busy. Today, I am rejoined by Devyn, who you will know from the last episode, and
Hola.
also my friend Liam Christie, who will be joining us for the first time today.
That is me.
So we don't really have too many plans to talk about anything in specific for this episode. A lot of sports are done now that we mainly follow. So I guess we're just going to talk about some random stuff today and just see how it goes. So
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I guess, we can start off with that. So Carson Wentz, like a few of the other QBs inside of the NFL circle, have been under speculation of being traded. I know from a couple other sources I've been reading, a lot of the news has been fake, apparently, that he was going to be traded, and the Eagles were kind of just trying to boost his market value and his appeal to other teams. But
it didn't work.
Yeah, at last, I believe it was, Tuesday or Wednesday, I think?
I think so.
That he was traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Personally, I know he's had a very bad year for this past season, but I kind of think that the Colts won this deal, I'd say 9 times out of 10. They brought Phillip Rivers in, obviously we know, and he could only get them as far as the divisional round, I believe, or the wild card round. But I think if Carson Wentz is able to, re-find his head and put all of his distractions in the past, I think he for sure, I made a prediction already. I think he's for sure going to bounce back. And if he can get it going early, I think the Colts will have just as good a season as they just had, if not possibly better.
I definitely agree. What do you think about what he was traded for?
Yeah, it was a third-round pick and a conditional second that can become a first. I mean, honestly, like I was already thinking about this. I was like, the Colts could actually just finesse the Eagles and just play. I think he has to play like 70 or 75% of the snaps for it to turn into a first-round pick. Like the Colts could literally finesse it to where he plays 69% of the snaps, and then they only gave up a second and a third-round pick. And if he's performing very well, then that's a total steal. Like, in my opinion, I think they did definitely win the trade. And seeing that they technically didn't give up a first-round pick unless he plays more, I don't see how the Eagles really won this unless they were just trying to do anything to get rid of him.
Yeah. I don't know. From my perspective, I don't see him being anywhere close to his Super Bowl run. So for me, either way, that's a loss, in my opinion. I'm sure other people have higher expectations for him, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, he might be just one and done with a Super Bowl, but I agree with Zach with fucking Colts winning the trade there.
Yeah, I guess like looking at it this way, if Indy doesn't take a chance on him, because I mean Jacoby Brissett I think is good enough to be a starter. He's not as good as many other QBs in the league, but he's good enough. And just think of it this way, like if the Colts don't take a chance on successful.
Oh, there you
go. Oh, did I cut out, or was I still?
Yeah.
Could you still hear me or no?
Nope.
I can hear you now, but you completely froze in the middle of.
Okay, I'll just repeat what I was gonna say. Basically, I was just gonna say, if the Colts don't take a chance on him, like what are the chances of Jacoby Brissett leading them to the playoffs again? Like I think personally, it's a big like what if chance game, but I mean, if the Colts don't get a new QB in and they rely on Brissett, I think that they have less of a risk but more of a chance of not making the playoffs than if they're bringing in a QB such as Carson Wentz, who, if he is good, he will get them to the playoffs. But if he's just like he was this past year, then there's no chance. And I mean, there's a lot of factors going into that. Obviously, they draft a QB, which no QB wants to see happen. So that messes with your head already. And then on top of that, their O-line was not good. I think one of their main starters was out. So, I mean, that doesn't help. But, I mean, compared to past years, like, ever since he got injured right before that Super Bowl winning team, like, it's just been a decline for him. So, if he's gonna break out of that shell, I think it's good that he has a change of scenery now because there's none of those distractions waiting. But I mean, only time will tell for sure.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of similar to Cam Newton, where he had his injuries and then didn't play, and then played but didn't play good, and then change of scenery, and I thought that would change for him, and he's, in my opinion, still not anywhere near as good as he used to be. So hopefully it turns out different for Carson Wentz.
I think I'm gonna make a very bold prediction for next year. I think that the Colts are not gonna make it to the playoffs. That's my prediction. Already like a year ahead, but I feel like they're not gonna go to the playoffs, no matter how good he does.
I am gonna disagree with you.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I ended up making a bet with Henry already. I claimed that Carson Wentz is going to re-find his form, and I claimed that he's going to throw 25 or more touchdowns and 10 or less interceptions.
Really?
I think it was 10. It was either 10 or 15. I got to check right now.
I see. I mean, for me...
Oh, less than 15 interceptions. Okay.
For me, I see them making the playoffs. Almost definitely. Their defense was really good. They played really good late in the season, and I think that they haven't really made a whole lot of changes, at least yet. So I think that defense can hold them at least enough to make the playoffs next season. Whether or not, I mean, they still have Brissett as either a starter or a backup, so that's a probably like mid-tier quarterback. So I think that as a whole, they definitely have the talent to make it to the playoffs, and I think they will.
Yeah, I also agree. I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs, and if they don't, I think they're going to narrowly miss out. I don't think there's any chance that they just flounder completely unless the personnel and the schemes that they used for this past season just completely backfire on them next season. I mean, like, every team changes some stuff up, but unless something drastic happens, then I don't see any chance of them missing out.
Okay. Well, I guess speaking of missing playoffs, you want to talk about Miami real quick?
Yeah, we could touch on them.
I don't know if you talked about them before or not, but
no, I haven't. We didn't even do like a NFL season recap, honestly, because we haven't had an episode since Super Bowl week. So.
Oh, okay. What do you think about Miami, dude?
All right, I'm just gonna say I personally wasn't a fan of us playing our starters for 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Was just because I did not want the risk of somebody important getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's still not an excuse. Miami, now, not to say that any of those NFL players go out there and just lollygag around the entire game.
Right.
But for the circumstance that they were in, I'm pretty sure all they had to do was win, which was not going to be easy against the Bills. But all they had to do was win or hope another team lost to guarantee they got into the playoffs. And both didn't happen. They got blown out. I think they were playing in Buffalo, right? So
yeah. So, absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, they got blown out away. And then they had to hope for, was it the Bears to lose, I think?
Something stupid.
It was one of 3 teams, honestly, that could have lost, I think, or one of 2 teams, and those teams didn't lose. So they absolutely blew it at arguably the most important moment of their season, because I think they could have clinched the playoffs sometime before, like in a couple weeks before that.
Didn't close out.
And yeah, I don't know. I personally, I'm not like, it's not like I'm not happy that they didn't make the playoffs because, screw them.
Yeah.
But, they absolutely floundered the opportunity. And I don't know. I just don't think if they think Tua is the answer down there, they need to let Fitz go. Because
that was my other thought.
The longer they keep Fitzpatrick on that bench to mentor Tua, the more they have that little pillow to fall on in case they roll off the bed, and he's just gonna save Tua's ass every time. And then more and more questions are gonna come up. Oh, is Tua the guy? Well, Fitzpatrick just came in and saved him. Like, I don't know if he can carry this team yet.
I mean, yeah, but Fitzpatrick can't carry any team. He comes in, plays 2 or 3 games, closes them out, wins them, whatever. Call him Fitzmagic, and then you set him back on the bench.
It's very true.
He's like a position player, I guess.
He's the ultimate bench player.
Yeah. Just comes off the bench and claps ass for 2-3 quarters. But I don't know. As a whole, Miami had a pretty good season. They just didn't execute in the end.
Very true. Yeah, and I think too, just to touch on that, some of the signings they made were amazing, and they filled positions that they needed help on. Positions that were weak the season before stepped up, like especially their D-line. Their D-line really stepped up from last season.
Their defense played really well this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, like I think if their offense could have generated more scores per game, I think they definitely would have made the playoffs.
That was the same thing with Buffalo 2 years ago. Was the defense held the team together and the offense couldn't put up points.
Mm-hmm.
So going out and getting Stephon Diggs was huge for Buffalo.
Yeah,
I guess maybe Miami's got to figure out what they want to do because they have what 2 or 3 good either tight ends or receivers, but I don't know if Tua can't get it done or if they need to get another receiver who can. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, obviously the cap is tight for a lot of teams, but maybe that's what Miami needs to do is they need to just find that one big free agent or that one big player that's looking for a change of scenery to come in and make a difference. I mean, obviously Deshaun Watson's been linked with Miami, but I mean, it looks like you're going to have to give up so much for him. Like, you don't even know if it's worth it. Like, I think he's proven that he's very good, but that's not to say what's going to happen the next season. So
definitely. And I feel like the schemes in Houston and Miami are not similar.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be well, I guess it's hard to say with Houston. They have a lot of issues, so I guess it's hard to say that, but
very true.
I guess
pivot. Oh, what are you gonna say?
Well, I was thinking about Houston. What do you think is going on with J.J. Watt?
I was just gonna say, just to pivot. Obviously, free agency has been linked with about 10 or 11 teams now. The Bills included in that list.
Yeah.
Personally, speaking of free agents, I know Matt Milano apparently is now going to test free agency. Which it's a bummer. I like him, but honestly, I think he is replaceable. Like, he's very good at what he does, but he only does a select couple things. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even though, we say he's a great linebacker and all, I mean, our defense took a step down as a whole. So that means I would argue that every player this season on the defense was just playing at a little bit below what they were playing at last season. So, I mean, we know, like, Brandon Beane, he knows the circumstances and he knows, like, oh, yeah, money's going to be tight. Like, we know who we can pay and we know who we can take a risk on and stuff like that. But we also know that he's a good GM and he can move money around to free up space for other players to come in. So, I mean, like, I've talked to a couple of my friends and they said they personally wouldn't want J.J. Watt coming to Buffalo. But, I mean, I think he's still got at least a year left, if not 2.
Sure. And that's like work ethic is just insane.
Exactly. I think he would fit in great with our defense's personality, and I think he could become another great leader on that defense with the couple that we already have of players that step up. So, I mean, personally, I would be all for it if we could make it happen. I feel like the only way it's going to happen is either if we somehow pull off a masterclass of restructuring contracts or something, or if he's willing to take a pay cut.
Right.
I don't know how much he would be willing to do that, considering he's an established veteran and he's already been.
Right, but I don't. On the other hand, maybe he just wants to win the chip, so he's willing to take that cut to
That's
get put.
very true. I mean,
in a good
obviously,
position.
Tom Brady is the greatest player of all time in the NFL, in my opinion. Like, you can't really compare him to anybody else, but you saw that Tampa Bay brought in let's just consider they didn't bring in any of the free agents they did besides Brady. They brought in Brady and they were already a playoff contender. Like, you knew they were going to go to the playoffs at the end of the season. And then they got all the help around them to just add weapons to them. So, I mean, J.J. Watt could be that difference on how far we go to the in the playoffs. You got anything, Devyn?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at who J.J. Watt is actually thinking of going to. People are like dissecting his social media so hard.
Oh yeah, apparently he could literally go anywhere. DeAndre Hopkins literally tweeted at him like, "Hey, let's finish what we started," or something like that. So
people are going like, there was one photo from today actually of a picture of his two dogs and his TV in the background, and a lot of people are being like, "There's dogs in the photo, which means that's the dog pound, which equals the Cleveland Browns. Welcome to Cleveland." And then on the other side, Buffalo is like, Easter egg, Buffalo Bills, blue flowers. JJ, you fly dog, you're gonna love the Wings, fans and team. You will love winning too. So it's
people are stupid. That's such a stretch. That's such a stretch.
He's literally just taking a photo of his dogs and like, come on, seriously.
Yeah.
I know, it's like, be realistic.
Be realistic. Goes to Washington. That's another team that's probably not going to make it to the playoffs. I'm sorry, but
your Washington football team?
Yeah, I
don't know. I thought they looked pretty good. I mean, there's stuff they still got to improve on, but that D line.
They played that end of the season pretty well.
They're like a newborn deer. They're trying to get into their new legs and
Do
start
you
walking.
think Taylor Heineke is the man though? I don't think he's a good enough quarterback.
Didn't they just re-sign him?
Yeah, they signed him to like a small 2-year deal. I mean, I
don't know. I don't see him as
proven enough.
I don't see him as the guy.
I know. I think he was one of those things where he just went on this good run, and people got hyped about him real quick, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to give this guy a deal." Now, I mean, he could prove me wrong, but that's just what I think.
Like Manziel, it's gonna be a Johnny Manziel.
Money Manziel, turning up in that. What was it? The
FCF.
Yeah, the fan-controlled football league.
Fan-controlled football league.
And that shit's so wet.
Play for Bob Menery.
Mini stadium football series. Yeah, like you said, 5-on-5. And I think instead of extra points, it's like 1-on-1s or something like that in the end zone.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird.
What?
Yeah, it's different. You gotta check it out after this.
But yeah.
Yeah, I guess one thing we can talk about, who would you say is the most surprising overperformer and underperformer from the season?
I mean, for me, I mean, obviously watch a lot of Bills games. Overperformed. Josh Allen really shocked the world.
Yeah, massive increase in his
accuracy.
Honestly, accuracy overall, not even just his deep ball accuracy.
Yeah. He basically showed everyone that he could change and became a better player. And he hopefully this continues into next season. That wasn't just a fluke, but
yeah.
As for dud Singletary's kind of a letdown from last season, but granted we didn't run the ball nearly as much and offensive line wasn't ideal, but
very true. He did what he could with what he had. I know I'd say personally I still like Singletary. I know one of my friends has said he doesn't think he's the answer, and I mean, like, he hasn't proven himself to be the answer yet. But one good thing about him is he always gets yards. even if it's just a 1 yard gain. Like, I can't even think of the last time where he got a negative yardage gain on a straight up run play.
Right.
And like sometimes you just need that. And while Zach Moss did look pretty good when he did run the ball, I mean, he fumbled a few times, and maybe 1 or 2 of them weren't his fault, but Singletary was great at just getting those yards forward, whether it was a 20-yard gain or a 2-yard gain. And I saw a lot of people. I was trying to think of what positions we need to draft. We definitely need to draft an O lineman and a D lineman because Ed Oliver needs help. Granted, he didn't have anybody else to eat up a double team, and he's not big enough to deal with a double team on himself. So, I mean, that didn't help. But if we're going to take another step forward, we definitely need to focus on improving the O-line, especially because we can't re-sign everybody.
Right.
And we need somebody to help get that pass rush back to where it was a season or 2 ago.
Mm-hmm. There were games where we had no sacks. It's like, what are you doing for 60 minutes? Just like pushing against one dude and not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, that's obviously combined with how fast the QB can get it out. But then that just points to how our defense took a step down as a whole, because that just means the corners aren't playing as tight. So.
What was I going to say? Oh, I was CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was I don't watch a whole lot of college, so I don't really know that, like, what the speculation was, but I thought he played really well for first year.
Yeah, he did come out. I'm pretty sure didn't he go straight into the number 2 receiver spot?
I think so.
I know Amari Cooper's their number 1 for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure him and Gallup kind of traded places back and forth throughout the season of who was the number 2. Yeah, I would agree. I think the top hyped rookie wide receivers were him, Jerry Jeudy, and Justin Jefferson. And I think
also had really good years.
Yeah, I think all 3 of them, honestly, like Jerry Jeudy obviously could only make what he had with his situation in Denver because Denver's just a bad team.
Yeah.
But I think all 3 of them played fairly well, if not better than a lot of people thought and expected. So, I mean,
all 3 of them had their clips.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jerry Jeudy mossed that one dude. That was really funny.
I remember that play. Yeah, so they all played pretty well. It's kind of exciting, even when new rookies come in and perform that aren't on your team. It's always exciting to see what they can do.
For sure.
You just say, "Thank God that wasn't against my team."
Yeah, right. Could have been us.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been fun.
I've actually got a question. So after the Super Bowl win, congrats Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Do you think it was disrespectful with what Tom Brady did with the Lombardi Trophy and throwing it to another boat, or is it all good and fun?
I mean, it was definitely an all fun, but I wouldn't say it was disrespectful. I just think it was stupid.
I think it was stupid too.
Because I mean, they were all clearly doing it when they were drunk. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a trophy. Like, I get how prestigious it is, but I think.
But they also said that it was a replica. It's not the original.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure, like most cup trophies, not even just in America, but like around the world, you never get the actual trophy to keep in your cabinet. It's the replica that you get to keep in your trophy cabinet, and the original one is just the one that gets passed around. Like, nobody keeps it. So I mean, I could see where that chick was coming from, where she said it was disrespectful. But I mean, they're all just having fun. Like, they just won the Super Bowl. Would you not be happy if you just won the highest prestigious trophy of the sport in the country?
And
it was definitely a risk, and I don't think it should have been done. Just because the risk of, even though it's a replica, like, imagine how stupid you look if that falls in the river.
Especially if you're Tom Brady.
Yeah. But I mean, like, on the one hand, they're all intoxicated, so they're making bad decisions to start with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's necessarily disrespectful. I just think it was a bad idea for as something you should do because of just the significance the trophy has.
Right.
I guess I wouldn't say disrespectful. I would just say it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree completely.
They weren't socially distancing, no.
Well, Tom Brady is of the no mask anti-maskers.
Oh
For
dear.
real.
So
Oh dear.
so you want to? We got Deshaun Jackson. If you want to talk about that, or we can
Yeah,
move on
honestly,
from football.
I haven't kept track too much of what's happened in free agency or in the
That was
offseason right
really
now.
the big thing I noticed is he got released by the Eagles as well.
Yeah, I mean he's been there before. Then I don't remember if he got cut or if he just got traded. But he went to, I think he's been with the Eagles his whole career, and then he went to Tampa Bay, and then now he's back at the Eagles, and now he's gone again. I don't know. He's decent in times, but I think now he's just at that age. I think he's like 33 or 34 now. I mean, he's
Yeah,
still
he's
got
pretty
good
good.
speed, but he's just not as good as he used to be, and he's kind of aging. And he's always kind of had that vibe around him where it seems like he's kind of disrespectful at times. And I mean, that
Yeah, he
definitely
definitely
doesn't,
had that disrespectful vibe to him.
yeah, and it doesn't help the Eagles now even more because their wide receiving core wasn't even very good to begin with. I'm pretty sure they had a chance at drafting someone better than Jalen Reagor, and they didn't take it. And they didn't make any good moves to bring in a good wide receiver. They lost Aguilar, who was probably their best wide receiver, and they haven't really done anything to improve it. So, I mean, whatever QB, I mean, it's going to be Jalen Hurts most likely.
Hmm.
He's going to have fun out there because he's going to be throwing to people that, maybe they can make plays at times, but I just don't see how that offense is going to be anywhere better than it was last year. Like, I think them losing Carson Wentz and losing one of their best receivers, I think their offense just got even worse than it was, despite all the issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he definitely. I mean, so this says he was drafted in 2008.
Okay.
So he's probably 22, 32.
Early 30s, yeah.
So I feel like he's definitely got seasons left in him. There's just two. I mean, he's still fast. He's still one of the faster guys in the league. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a niche thing for a team to want, but I think there's definitely someone who will pick him up.
Yeah, apparently I'm reading on it now. He's been there for the last 2 seasons, so he was here this season and last season, but he only played 8 games out of the last 2 seasons because of injuries.
Interesting.
He's 34.
Okay.
So yeah. Another thing I'm seeing here is apparently the Carolina Panthers will make a strong bid to try and get Deshaun Watson if the Texans fully make him available. Because I know the Texans are dilly-dallying right now, like, oh, he's our QB. We're not letting him go. I'm sure you've seen plenty of memes of all of his teammates saying, oh, I want to get traded, and other players saying, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore, and they just get dealt, and he's just sitting there locked up in a cage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that'll be interesting to see. I personally really like Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think he is the guy, and it sucks that he's never really been the same since his injury, like 4 or 5 years ago with Minnesota. I mean, he played very well when he had to step in for Drew Brees when he was with the Saints, but I think he kind of finessed the deal out of the Panthers. I don't think he's as good as what they're paying him.
Yeah.
And I think that the Panthers, aside from a few other positions, I think it could be time that they find somebody new.
Yeah, I got nothing on this subject.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly all the
NFL really.
What was that?
That's all we got left for NFL really, right? Nothing
Pretty
else.
much.
Could look at basketball.
We could look at basketball. The All-Star lineups just came out a few days ago, I believe.
I think they picked.
They picked the starters at least. I know that.
I thought they picked captains, and then they were gonna. Oh yeah, you're right.
because there was people talking about how Damian Lillard got robbed of a starting spot because he's not a starter. He's on the bench to begin the game.
Yeah, let's see. Doncic, Curry, James, Jokic, and Kawhi, Kyrie, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Joel Embiid.
My guy Joel, I'm a 76ers fan, and my guy has been cooking the league this year. He just dropped a 50 bomb on I forget who they played.
Yeah, I saw that.
My guy
Big
killed
deal.
it.
But Bradley Beal has been playing himself a season.
For real. I feel so bad for him. He is on such a bad team, and he is easily carrying them as hard as he can right now. I think Russell Wilson was a good addition. Or Russell Wilson, Jesus Christ. Russell Westbrook was a very good addition because he brings that high intensity. But, I mean, you can't rely on 1 to 2 guys to carry your team. Like, even though the Nets have Durant, Harden, and Kyrie, like, their whole team is still playing. I mean, yeah, they'll lose from time to time, but their whole team is giving it an effort. Like, the Wizards are just so bad that they're relying on Beal and Westbrook right now, and I feel bad for the man. I really like
Westbrook isn't even playing that good.
Yeah, no, he's not. So, I mean, I feel bad for Bradley Beal. I think he deserves to go to a good team, but I'm pretty sure he said that, like, he doesn't want to get traded because he doesn't want to be there anymore. Like, he wants to help them be good. But, I mean, like, you can only do that for so long until you get fed up with yourself and you're like, why am I here still?
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking of other duos, Devin Booker and Chris Paul over in Phoenix.
Yeah. How are they doing this season?
Honestly, not bad. Let me scores NBA.
Trying to look at the standings right now.
They are.
One man that is carrying their team right now is Steph Curry, though.
He is carrying the team right now.
Doesn't have Clay for another season, and he's still putting up strong numbers and helping out the team.
Yeah, they had the Phoenix Suns are 18-10.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
They're in 5th in the standings right now.
Yeah. Golden State's at 8.
Yeah, I did not realize how good Utah's doing. 24-6.
Oh yeah, they are nuts. They won like 21 of the last 22 games or something.
Jesus. So that means they started out real cold and then they're killing it right now.
They put on a show. They lost one game after like a 13-game win streak and then just kept winning.
Jesus.
But yeah, dude. They said, I think it was Giannis said they were the best team in the league, in his opinion.
Jazz. I mean, right now it's showing that they are, according to like just pure standings and statistics. They have the most wins in the league. They're top of their conference, and yeah, they have 2 home losses and 4 away losses.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they're doing something right for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even that team. What do they got? Who they got? Fucking
Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell.
That's really it, isn't it?
I mean, they have Mike Conley, who I don't know. I think he's kind of overrated, but he's still decent. Bojan Bogdanovic, he's pretty good. Joe Ingles isn't too bad either.
Miles Bridges. Oh, I'm looking at Phoenix again. Never mind.
Miles Bridges has a brother on the Charlotte Hornets. And I forget his name, but my dude can fly. I gotta find him now. Miles Bridges, yeah, he's on the Hornets. I know one thing that was kind of controversial is a lot of NBA players actually didn't want an All-Star game to be played.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
I'm not really too sure why, other than maybe they're lacking the motivation. I didn't really read into it.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, they already play games every day. So, I mean, they know they're not going to be sick. But, I don't know. I think it's a tradition. So, I feel like it's a good thing to keep going if they can, which they definitely can. They've shown that they can.
That's pretty much it for sports because, I mean, nothing else is really happening.
Any input, Devyn?
I mean, the only other thing that I can think of is through MLB, which is the Brett Gardner re-signing for one more year with the Yankees for $4 million.
Wasn't there just a big deal with the Padres?
Oh yeah, with
Fernando Tatis.
Tatis Jr.
Yep.
Dude, all I'm saying is I know he had a good season.
How
much does he deserve that contract?
That is a lot of money over a lot of years.
I personally don't follow baseball that much other than the Cardinals, and I know the Cardinals got Nolan Arenado over this offseason, which is a huge pickup, but I don't follow baseball too much. I don't know how good exactly he played last season to earn a contract like that, but
he had like one of the most home runs in that division or conference maybe.
$340 million over a 14-year time span and a $10 million signing bonus.
Jesus, my guy could literally sign that contract, terminate it after he gets his guaranteed money, and be set for life.
Exactly.
But they did say when he played in the minors, he signed a contract with somebody, and they apparently now get between 1% and 12% of whatever money he makes on any contract he ever signs.
Oh, that's kind of smart. It kind of sounds like similar to in soccer, they have these things called sell-on bonuses. So where every time you sell a player to another team, the team that you signed that contract with gets a portion of that revenue back.
It sounds like it. So I guess it was like a promoter or something probably.
I mean, that's kind of smart too, because if it is a minor league team that signed that deal with them, like that team's obviously not going to be getting as much money as the major league teams would. So that'll definitely help in the long run when they're just getting that little extra cash coming in.
Yeah. But so that's the third biggest deal behind Mookie Betts and
Mike Trout probably, right?
Mike Trout probably, yeah. I don't know.
I could have sworn
was Bryce Harper's big?
What was that?
Was Bryce Harper's big?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I wish I followed baseball more.
Yeah, I just saw it on ESPN. This was $330 million over 5 years.
That was Bryce Harper?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, 13. Sorry.
Over 13 years?
Yeah.
Okay. What was Mike Trout's?
Let's find out.
Mike Trout's contract?
Oh God, $426.5 million.
How long?
Doesn't say.
I think Mike
12
Trout's
years.
were 12, yeah.
Damn.
So he's making $35 million a year.
That's literally so stupid. Why can a person make that much money for their talents?
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes just signed this basically the same deal, right?
Yeah, and that's literally, honestly, it kind of makes me mad at some points because, okay, yeah, those guys are at elite levels in the hardest division of their sports, but I mean, how can a man be worth that much just because of one simple thing he could do? I could think of, not to say that they're not skilled, But I could think of other people that are doing other jobs that are more skilled than that and deserve to be making more money, but aren't.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I don't know. Personally, like, I don't want to make this like political or anything, but I think some athletes are just so overpaid, and just like the sports industry generates so much extra money to pay out people than they should.
And like, there's so much. I don't know. I feel like
Like
I
take
mean,
the
I don't make the
NFL
money, so I
for
can't really say. But
take the NFL for instance. You get paid to work what 2 hours out of the whole week to play a football game, and you get paid what?
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, for just playing 2 hours.
Like even like the lowest paid people is like 300,000 or something.
For real, you could literally be a bench player your entire career and still have a good life.
Mm-hmm. And like they make, I don't know. I mean, I don't have that kind of money, so I can't really say. But I mean, for me, that's like a no-brainer that you don't need all of that for yourself.
For real.
Exactly.
And you see it too, like some of them make stupid decisions with it. And then you hear about, these rich players going bankrupt after being out of the league for 5-10 years. Yep. It's like, yeah, because you get all that money that you don't need, you don't know what to do with it, and you just spend it on stupid stuff that you won't be able to afford. So then, you have a 10-bedroom mansion that you're living in with your family, but you go and spend it on stupid stuff, and now look, you can't afford the own house you bought.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say, like, how different I would be if I got that much money.
Right.
But I know for damn sure I wouldn't let myself spend it on stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. And I know damn well that I wouldn't buy some grand old house to live in. Like, with all that money, I'd still want to keep it simple, because then you start losing stuff and then you lose track of what you're trying to actually accomplish, and it just goes downhill from
Definitely.
there. I guess if we have nothing else to talk about in sports, we could just kind of transition to life in general. So I know all three of us are at college right now. Coronavirus has kind of made that terrible. I mean, I know for you, Liam, it's got to be stupid considering you're a senior now. Literally can't do shit your senior year.
Yep.
I don't know. Personally, I think it's so dumb the way that Clarkson's handling all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have actually contemplated a couple times just leaving campus and going home and just doing remote learning, because like at this point it's so stupid. You can't even go off campus, let alone on campus to other people's buildings right now.
I mean, that's just till the end of the week though.
Yeah, that's true. It's just temporary, but I mean
Monday, I think. But
it's just so dumb and like.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. I mean, I guess for me, I'd rather be here with and being able to talk to other people than at home, just my family.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm here. My mom's not gonna yell at me to like clean my room or like if I gotta do laundry. She's like, "Yeah, don't go do your laundry." Like, I'll do it when I need to do it.
Yeah, I feel that.
I feel like going back to online, like not online, in-person classes is kind of stretching it a bit, because wasn't it literally like a couple of days ago we were at like 94 active cases?
Yeah.
Like,
they're saying that they want us back in person on Monday or whatever. I guess it's up to the.
Isn't that just gonna spike again?
For real. I don't know why they're really trying to force it, because they kind of force people to come back on campus already. So it's like, why would you want to force students to go into an unsafe learning condition and then you have to deal with the consequences later? Like, why don't you just.
I bet you there's going to be a ton of backlash, emails getting sent everywhere.
Oh, I would assume they've already gotten a crap ton of emails when that first email came out.
Maybe not even from students either, from parents too.
Yeah, but they just don't want to give their money back. So
yeah, definitely parents though. From what I've heard from my mom, the Clarkson Facebook page is nuts with parents. Like, some parents on there are crazy.
Well, it's on Facebook, so that's already the crazy people.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know if either of you guys know, but like, how long do they have to wait? So like, isn't there a thing where if they do have to send us all home, there's like a certain time within like a certain time period from when we all came back for the semester that they would have to give us our money back for reimbursements?
I'm sure there is. I don't know what it is though.
I don't know exactly what it is, but it took a couple of months, no, more like a couple of weeks for it to actually come through.
But
But
I mean, one of my buddies was saying that if we get to 100 cases, or
Which
it's
we
like
have.
100 cases, or like 10% of the population or something, they have to like make a plan for staying at home or something.
Yeah, and
I mean, we did pass that threshold, which was why we're all like so like confused as to why we're going back in person.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And like one thing I noticed too, I don't know if you guys thought of it this way too, but like I'm pretty sure at one point we were over 100 active cases, and they kind of kept that email somewhat vague.
Yeah, they worded it very, very weirdly.
Almost to the point where it's like, okay, you don't know how many of those active cases are actually on campus.
Right.
So technically we don't have to send you home.
Right.
Which I thought was absolute bullshit.
Like the last one where it said 11, usually they put in the number, like 11, and then they also put in how many total active cases there are. They did 11 in a word, so I couldn't find it if I was trying to like
look for it quickly.
Right.
And then it didn't show how many cases there were. So doing simple math, 94 plus 11, that's over 100.
Exactly. So like if they're going to be sending out these update emails, they have to be telling us how many people are recovering now and how many new people have contracted it. Because I would agree, we've definitely had a couple times now where we've been over 100 active cases on campus. And I think Clarkson's just trying to pull as much bullshit as possible to where they don't have to send us home to lose more money.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think after 100 cases, I think the state itself like talks over it and sees like if we actually go home or not. But if they haven't told state that we've been over 100 cases, then what's to say them that we have to go home?
That's true.
You know, it sucks. I'm all cooped up in here all alone.
I know. There's not even anything to do. Like they replaced intramurals with esports. Like not every kid plays video games to begin with. And on top of that, even less kids out of that bunch want to play the things that they're offering.
Exactly.
Definitely heard that.
It's just nothing to do. Like I was even, because you did it with us. Like I was going outside playing soccer. I was going outside working out, and I could actually travel places at least within the town. And we can't even do that now because of all the restrictions. And I don't know. This whole situation.
From what we're probably gonna get tested this week.
I haven't even been tested yet. They claim they're doing all this random testing stuff. Like I haven't even been tested yet. I've been tested once since I've been on campus, and that was the first week that I moved in.
I mean, same, but I also missed the one that I was supposed to schedule it because it was on a break day, and they didn't. They gave me a notice like 3 days beforehand that I had to go and get a COVID test. Like they didn't send me one the day of, and I'm like, well, it's not necessarily my fault that I forgot because I have other stuff to do, and it was a break day, so I took full advantage of it and slept the whole day. So
yeah, I mean, I've been tested twice since I got here, so I don't know. They're gonna test us again soon this week, next week maybe.
I feel like if they want to do it effectively, they don't have to do the random testings and do it. Not necessarily do it.
Tracing, but.
Yeah, like actually test everyone first, and then with the random testing, take a girl and a guy from every single building, and then test those, and that would be the random tests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's more random than just
every building
testing a single floor in a building for 1 week.
I don't even know how effective it would be either, but my brother who goes to Alfred, he said that they don't even do like these scheduled tests that we have to do where you confirm like your appointment. He said they literally just take groups of like 10 to 15 students and test them all at once at a certain point in time. And then if any of those, if there's a positive test that comes back out of that group, then they bring all the students back that did that quick test and they come back and they do an official test. Like, I don't know how effective that would be. I don't know how cost efficient that would be, but I don't know. I think Clarkson handles the testing and whatnot pretty well, but
quite
way
quite
that
effectively, but it can be done better.
yeah, and it sounds like the way that they're doing this, like I don't know why they would be so eager to rush us back into in-person classes,
Yeah, I don't
especially
know
since
either.
we're already here and we're paying this much to be on campus just to sit in our dorms the whole time. Like
Yeah.
it kind of makes you think like why would they care? We're all on campus for them. But I don't know. This whole COVID situation sucks. I think the country as a whole could have handled it way better than we did.
Yeah, definitely.
Like look at down in fucking Oceania, like Australia and New Zealand are basically COVID free.
Mhm.
Like how the fuck did that happen? They're way closer to China than we are.
As soon as they got one case, they shut down everything.
Exactly. We took too long to react, and like that's not our fault because the whole world took too long to react because China just kept it a secret for too long.
Yeah, that's true.
We took too long to react. We decided to shut down. People still weren't following rules within the country after we shut down the country for however long. And
Yeah.
I think we opened up too quickly also. Like I think we opened back up too quickly without taking the necessary precautions. So
Yeah, we definitely
and
did.
the problem is too the entire country isn't on the same page. Like
Yeah, they're all state laws and stuff.
exactly, it's state laws. So you got Florida down there where people can literally kiss and make out in the middle of the street in like 20 people groups.
Mhm.
But then other states, people are like fearing going outside, and you can actually like get fined for going outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they wanted to do it effectively, they should have made a nationwide law rather than state laws, just to keep everybody on the same page and say like, hey, if we're gonna get rid of this virus, everybody needs to take it seriously, not just a few states.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have two things left I wanted to talk about. So the first one is Serena Williams losing in tennis. She lost to Naomi Osaka, who won her fourth, I guess, Grand Slam is what it's called. She's like 24, I think, maybe.
24.
Maybe.
Damn.
And Serena's won 24 Grand Slams, and she's like 30, I don't know, 32 or something. So it's a big deal. She's lost her a few times now, I think.
I was gonna say, I think this was like a friendly rivalry coming into this match because I saw a couple posts about it, and I know it was gonna be a good one. I mean, like personally for me, when I don't follow tennis too much, but whenever I see Serena Williams' name, you can't really bet against her unless there's something wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd say this is. I don't know if surprising was a good enough word because like I don't know how good exactly Naomi Osaka is.
She's.
But,
I mean, she's a ranked 2 overall in the world. So right now.
Okay, so yeah, she's pretty damn good then. So I didn't see any clips from the match or anything, but I did see her in her. I think it was her post-win conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, congrats to her for beating arguably the best women's tennis player ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge, especially in like a sport where if she's going to try and overtake that legacy someday, like that's definitely a great start beating the person who's on top right now.
She's 39.
Serena Williams is 39. Damn, okay. So, I mean,
Damn.
Osaka's got a long way to go, but I mean, if she's starting out like this and she's hot right now, it's definitely possible if she continues it to overtake.
And like they've played a few matches, and I mean the other ones I feel like I remember being pretty close, but this one was basically one-sided where she just beat her in 2 straight sets and that was it.
Okay.
So I don't know if Serena wasn't feeling it or like if it was just like she's on her way out, but I mean I wouldn't want to see that. I want to see Serena win another championship at least. But
very true.
But who knows at this point? I mean, that's the thing with professional athletes is you never know if they're really 100%.
Yeah, and especially if she's 39 too. Like I don't know the average playing age. Tennis is obviously a much lower impact sport than a lot of professional sports. you can play for way longer. But who knows if she's 39 now, and I'm pretty sure she had a kid within the last couple of years too. Like,
Yeah.
who knows how much longer she has in the tank? Whether it's, oh, I'm not motivated to play the sport anymore, or oh, my body just can't really handle it like it could.
So the average professional tennis player typically retires at around age 27.
Really?
For the top players, the age retirement is significantly higher because obviously, like, the oldest one right now is a woman named Martina Navratilova at 49, who's still going. So
Okay.
I think
49.
she might have like 10 more years in her.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wait.
definitely possible.
Why is it saying that she retired?
Although that might be. Oh, it says she retired in 2006.
Serena or
Or the other chick.
Martina?
Yeah.
It right now it's saying that Serena is retired, which makes literally no sense.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
On Google, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
What
was the other thing you wanted to talk about, Liam?
Well, that was just for me, skiing. They just had World Championships in Austria, I think.
How'd that go? Feel free to run your mouth since you don't want to scream.
Basically, it's like 2 weeks straight of events.
So do they hold just like
let's see,
like alpine
it's Italy
too, or do they do like downhill?
They do so it's downhill, Super G, slalom, and giant slalom. They have basically it's basically 2 weeks where one night is men's and one is women's basically. So they'll do for the two faster ones, which are Super G and downhill, they'll do one run and that's it. So that's pretty quick. But so they did men's and women's for that, and then they have the Super G, and they do men's and women's for that, and then they did like I think it was the GS, which is giant slalom. They did both that, and then they have an art it's called the Alpine Combine, the Combine, which is you do a downhill you do a Super G and then you do a slalom, and they just add your times, and then whichever has the fastest one. But so basically, there were seven races, I think. And one of the Americans, who is easily the best, the best female skier at this time, Michaela Schifrin, shout out America, won 4 medals in the World Championship. So she placed on the podium in 4 out of the 7 races, which was pretty cool. Maybe more than 7, I don't know exactly, but so she did pretty good. We had some other good finishes for Americans, but there was a lot of good finishes for Switzerland. Switzerland did very well this championship. Yeah, so that was that's the majority of it. Schifrin won her 67th race, I think, which is unheard of since Lindsey Vonn retired. Lindsey Vonn retired at 82, or no, 80, something like that, 86 maybe.
Yeah, and Lindsey Vonn's what, in her 30s?
Yeah, 39, I think.
And how old is Schifrin?
Let's see. Lindsey Vonn first. Lindsey Vonn is now 36.
And
Michaela Schifrin is
25.
25, yeah.
Damn.
So she's got like
she is
almost
more than
10 years.
halfway to catching her and is significantly younger.
Yeah, more or less.
That's nuts.
Let's see. Nope, I don't want that. Let's see. Yeah, she won her first professional ski race when she was 18.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking nuts. She has 68 total wins.
Now that's one thing that just amazes me too, is like there are kids that are literally as old as me, if not younger, that are at the top of their sport, just accomplishing all these things. It's like, damn, imagine if that was me.
Yeah, so Lindsey
Just
Vonn had
imagine.
82 wins.
Damn.
So she's almost within 20 wins of Lindsey Vonn, and she's got 10 years left on her career, maybe.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so this is something that pisses me off in particular. Is last year Michaela Schifrin in a calendar year won 17 races, which is unheard of. But before that, the best was I think 13 or 14, and even at that point, to win a race, you have to beat 60 other people every time. So the first run you basically have to be in the top 30 to advance to the next run, and then from there you just need the fastest combined times, and you would win. And so for 17 races, she was better than every single other person on the mountain. And
yeah, that's nuts.
And just it got almost no recognition. They were like woman of the year or whatever, and it's like, oh, women's soccer team because they won the World Cup, and it's like, that's a team. Who cares?
I know that's one thing I don't agree with. The team won an individual award. Like that's so stupid.
It's just like I understand. Like you talk about like Gabby Douglas, who is absolutely insane in gymnastics, who just like keeps winning gold medals, but.
Mm-hmm.
Like to talk about her as a like the woman of the year, whatever, makes sense. But no one talks about Schifrin, and she is just like absolutely insane. Where, like for one of the things she won like 11 straight races, where just no one could fucking beat her. Like it was just impossible. She was just there were like. People like her teammates were not her teammates. Her competitors were commenting like we get to the mountain, and it was just like, I'm just gonna ski my best, and she'll still win. And it was just like, oh, like she set the precedent, and everyone was like, we have to work up to where she is. It's just like it was just such a different level. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I would agree. I think like. Her obviously included. I think there's a lot of individual athletes in their respective sports that, because it's not the most popular sport, don't get nearly as enough a recognition as they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Like you never hear about a golfer being like the athlete of the year or anything like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. When it's like, you don't know, they could literally be like the best personality out of their entire sport and be the most giving person and, like preach the best things all day. But because golf isn't as popular as, say, basketball or football, like they don't get any consideration.
Yeah, and that's definitely true. Where, like, there's like I think it was either last year or the year before, where Brooks Koepka won 3 of the 4 majors, and just like had an absolutely insane year. And it was just like, yeah, but it's golf, so no one fucking cares.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, that was my vent where I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, everyone's got something they got to talk about.
because people just don't. I mean, for sports that people don't care about, it's just kind of frustrating. Because I guess I watch sports that people don't really watch, but
I mean, it's nice to have variety though. Like people need to see, because like me personally, I'm the biggest soccer fan I know, but I get bored of watching soccer sometimes. Like,
right,
especially now, like I don't have a TV to watch it on, so I'm not paying for any way to see it, and there's no one to really watch it with. It's like I get bored of watching the highlights all the time. So like it's nice to hear the input of something else that oh yeah, I would never sit down and watch bowling, but if
Mhm.
somebody knows about it, like I'll gladly listen to what they have to
Yeah,
say and
definitely.
react to it. Like same goes with what you're talking about with skiing.
Yeah, it's just like something I grew up with, so knowing. I mean, I didn't really watch skiing as a kid, but I mean, I always kind of knew about ski racing. Like I knew the big names mostly.
Right.
Which reminds me, one of the big names in men's skiing just retired. His name was Ted Ligety, and for a long time in the 2010s was unstoppable in GS, where he would just go out and win every race. Because he was
from
America.
Okay.
And he was he just tried to he basically revolutionized the giant slalom. So that was very, very sad to see him retire, but yeah, it's as skiing is in my family, my dad ski raced for at least a little bit, not professionally, but he was into it. So he knew about the scene, I guess you could call it that. And so he was like, oh hey, there's just this thing going on, you want to watch it? I mean, sure, why not? I'll check it out. And it's just super cool. You get to know some of the main names, and
right.
Basically how you get into any other sport. You fucking watch and you're like, wow, this is cool. I like this.
Right. Yeah.
So. So yeah, that was my 15 minutes.
Devyn, you got anything else you want to talk about? Because I'm pretty much exhausted.
I'm also exhausted. Ain't got nothing really to talk about other than Elimination Chamber is happening.
Alrighty, I guess
that's it.
Yeah, I guess then. So even if Nick and Zach aren't able to be here again next week, I'll gladly just host by myself, even if I have to just record an episode by myself. I mean, it'd probably be kind of awkward at first, but I'm great at talking to myself. So
it's fine.
But yeah. So I mean, it's literally this same time every week until the end of the semester. I have a Zoom meeting scheduled for. So I mean, if you guys aren't doing anything, I'll just message you and tell you to come back on.
I don't got anything going on ever, so
especially now with COVID too. You just
really
live on campus. Yeah, so I guess that'll conclude episode 3 then. Thank you to Devyn and Liam for joining. For anybody that sees this on the YouTube channel, I don't really know how long you watch for, how interested you are, but if you have any suggestions for how we can make the podcast better or topics that you'd like to see us cover and talk about, just let us know in the comment section. We also have an Instagram and a Twitter. The Instagram is at KQC_podcast. And the Twitter account, I believe, is at KOTQC podcast as well. It might be something different, but I'll be sure to post that somewhere. So yeah, thank you for watching and hope you guys enjoyed.
Right.